Hi, welcome to Is It a Film, a podcast that critiques and memes film and asks one very important question: is it a film? As per usual now for the show, spoilers, just a bunch of spoilers. This movie's not really easy to spoil though. I don't really know what we'd be spoiling, but
It's just a bunch of gross out
yeah, just
stuff.
a bunch of gross shit. But spoilers anyways. You know, in case you want to go into your gross shit in a completely blank state.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Jonathan, aka and I'm joined by my ever-attentive co-host, my best friend, my pal, my amigo, my droog, Vincent. That's his aka.
That's my AK.
This is episode unlucky number 13 of Is It a Film, an episode that we are going to be calling Kuso and the Two Strings.
Here we're going over 2017 independent body horror film, Kuso.
Body horror comedy film.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes,
Sorry,
comedy.
you didn't read the show notes right. I'm sorry, Jonathan.
fucking
Don't
idiot.
fucking pester me.
This film is much more of a comedy than it is a horror, like, let's be honest. There's not really a lot that's horror.
It's more art film at times. There's segments where it just tries to be art film and fails. The whole entire... We'll get into it. We'll get into its thoughts, but we're going over Kuso. We're going to be giving you a basic-ass intro, telling you why it's important. We're going to give you the Wikipedia plot summary, the IMDb reviews, and a terrible last
No
segment.
Google reviews again?
No Google reviews.
Fuck you, Google. Get your shit together.
Before
Steal
that,
some
if you want-
IMDb reviews if you fucking have to.
Before that, if you want us to review a movie of your choosing, it's only $20, and it's at
cost 25.
$25 for an album, $20 for film, and it's at patreon.com/The Anthony and Todd Show. So whatever movie you want, we'll review it for $20. You can also, if we get 1,000 subscribers on the Anthony and Todd Show channel, I'll have to dye my hair blue if that's something you're interested in. But if not,
What are we going to do to get our subscriber count?
1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Jonathan will shave his head. Jonathan will shave his head.
It's very undoable, but I'm still hesitant.
Do it. Do it. Say yes. Say yes.
If I do, Max will fucking kill me.
Why would she kill
She
you?
loves my hair.
Do it. Do it. Do it. She'll kill
No.
you. Do it.
No.
I'll have to do the show with a corpse. Do it. You can also find Is It a Film on social media at Is It a Film, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and you can subscribe to the podcast on all major podcast streaming services under the Anthony and Todd Show banner, and that means Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Podcasts. And are you ready to go over Kuso?
Born ready.
What is the clickbait title of Kuso? I think it means gross. Being grossing. Being gross doesn't mean being good.
I think we disagree on whether or not we think this film is good.
I don't think it is.
I think it is.
Do you think it's good?
I think, yeah.
I'm not saying it's
I took
terrible.
I was like thinking about this like literally pretty
I'm not-
consistently since we watched it. And like, cause I was like initially like uncertain, like I've come to the conclusion, like I think it's good and I think I like it.
It's not Silent Hill.
It's not
It's above Silent Hill.
It's way above Silent
It's above
Hill.
Hereditary.
I'd say it's as good. I'm just gonna give it a B tier. I think it's a
I don't think
B-tier film.
it's at least a D.
No,
It just failed.
I don't think it did.
Okay, when we need to come up with a clickbait title that circumvents both versions of what we think about this film.
Does it have? I don't know.
It should be called insert fart noise here. No, that's not good.
No.
We'll come up with one later. We'll come back to this.
We'll come back to the clickbait title, I guess.
It's a 2017 independent body horror comedy film. It depicts a series of 4 surreal vignettes about the mutated survivors of an earthquake that destroyed Los Angeles, and it's the directorial debut of Steve, aka electronic music producer Flying Lotus. It's written by Steve, aka Flying Lotus, Dave Furt, and the great comedian, all-time great comedian, rapper, EDM legend, Zach Fox. Twitter legend, Zach Fox. It has music from Flying Lotus, Aphex Twin, Akira Yamaoka of Silent Hill 2 original soundtrack fame. If you want to hear us review of Silent Hill 2, you can check that out on Silent Hill the film. We did that 2 weeks ago on Is It a Film? Or Silent Hill 2 original soundtrack we did on the Anthony and Todd Show last week. So if you want to check that out, go there. And also Thundercat. It stars Zach Fox.
We also reviewed Flying Lotus's album.
Flying
Yeah,
Regard,
more
but that's not
plugs.
as good. Which has actually some music from this off of it.
Yeah.
So more plugs, yeah.
Plug.
Stars Zach Fox, George Clinton of Parliament and Funkadelic fame, Hannibal Buress and Tim Heidecker, and received a large number of walkouts at Sundance, and it was deemed an article written for Verge as the grossest movie ever made.
Which I'm honestly disappointed.
It's not the grossest movie ever made.
Here's why I'm disappointed though, because another film that regularly gets that title is Pink Flamingos, which I would say is the grossest because it's real in that film. It's not fake, but like it didn't create basically the plot of Pink Flamingos is two people competing to be the grossest person ever made. I want John Waters and Fly Lotus to basically relive that plot, but constantly try to make the grossest film ever made by just constantly trying to like one up each other.
I just want Zach Fox and John Waters to have a conversation.
Yeah,
I just want to see what that would be.
there's a lot of people I want to have a conversation with John Waters, and I just want to see what it would be like.
Because I think he might be a down to earth person. John, yeah.
Yeah, watch like his like stand up like lecture thing. He's like super down to earth and chill and funny.
Yeah.
He's weird and he knows it.
Yeah. So time to go into the most important segment where it tells you everything you need to know about this film. It's, of course, the Wikipedia summary. For
like
those
it's
who
not gonna
unaware,
do everything we need to know.
yeah, it's not. This is one of the times where it's not. But Wikipedia, greatest resource known to man, sometimes dolphins, and it's an internet encyclopedia. You can learn-
Sometimes living cockroaches that come out of your butt.
Sometimes it can do that too. Wikipedia, it's online encyclopedia. Everything you need to know is on there, and sometimes everything you don't know or need to know is not on there.
What?
Yes. So we're gonna be going over the Wikipedia summary of the plot right now, and I'm gonna read it because I'm a big boy and Jonathan's a big small boy. Kuso depicts a series of 4 surreal vignettes about the mutated survivors of an earthquake that destroyed Los Angeles. The vignettes are broken up throughout the film by animations, television static, and news reporters reporting on the earthquake. The news report is initially interrupted by Bus Driver, art rapper Bus Driver, which is fantastic, who performs this jazz spoken word number describing the earthquake. It's very homage to Electricity Is On Our Side.
Yeah, it's very clear that he made this while working on that album.
Because all the instruments are synced up to him rapping.
Yeah.
I don't know why he does that. It's just almost like this improvised jazz number.
Yeah.
It's not improvised.
It feels
because
like
it's
he
synced up so
improvises the voice, and then like the jazz and musicians are like, "Well, okay, this is what we're playing to, I guess."
Yeah. So there's 4 major vignettes. We're gonna go through them in the order that I guess Wikipedia deems fit.
Even though in the film they're all just kind of hopping between them.
Yeah. First one, Royal, written by Steve Ellingston. Missy and Ken Ellison. I can't read. I don't know why you're having me read this. It's your choice.
Offer to do it, and then you're like, "No, I'm a big boy.
I'm a big boy.
You're a big boy. I don't use diapers no more. I can read."
That's a very bad impression of me. It's more like, I'm a big boy.
Anywho, so like, why don't I just read it?
Sure, go ahead. Just because you have glasses, and I don't know if you can see.
I'm a nerd.
No, it's just I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, because I have the glasses.
Yeah.
You don't have glasses. Can you fucking see? Maybe that's why you can't read. Missy and Kenneth are lovers who live in an apartment complex. On their first appearance, Missy is seen choking Kenneth as he masturbates, then singing him to sleep. However, Missy...
The grossest thing in this entire film is when he wipes the cum on her face.
I don't think that's the grossest
That's the grossest thing to me. I don't know what a thing... I can't remember anything else.
The final part of this bit is my grossest thing with the boil.
The boil was weird. It just wasn't... It wasn't the grossest thing. There's grosser.
Yeah. But anyway, however, Missy covers her neck with a cloth and refuses to let Kenneth perform sexual acts on her. Kenneth attempts to play the piano for her to sing, but another voice joins them. Missy finally removes... Kenneth starts playing the piano happens at, like, the end of the film. The film starts with, like, the first bit of the sexual acts, and then it ends with the piano playing and everything that comes after it. Well, it actually ends with Bus Driver.
Yeah.
Doing another... But this time there's no instrumentation, just kind of like a rap improvisation.
Yeah. for like 4 minutes.
Yeah. Kenneth attempts to play the piano for her to sing, but another voice joins them. Missy finally removes the cloth to reveal a talking boil on her neck. After initial revulsion, the boil talks Kenneth into letting to perform fellatio on him. He agrees, and they do so. Afterward, Kenneth responds in pleasure, having learned to enjoy the boil's presence, and names it Royal.
It's gross.
It's gross.
It's not the grossest film ever made.
No.
Maybe that's what the clickbait title should be. Not the grossest film ever made, but still gross.
It's still fucking gross. But yeah, no, it's just... And this is probably the segment that has like the least impact on anything else, because it kind of happens, just kind of like a bookending segment.
Yeah.
And like it kind of quickly introduces us to like what we're gonna be in for.
Yeah.
The opening of him like rubbing his own cum on her face and all that nonsense.
Yeah.
Then this next segment, which it's weird that they even mentioned in the film that there's 4 segments, but they only wrote out the description of 3 of them.
Oh, there's 4.
Yeah.
Ooh, I didn't copy the last one.
Hurry the fuck up and pull it up on there, and I'll read it off of the screen.
I can read it off my phone
Okay.
because I'm a big boy.
The next segment is Mr. Quiggle. This is written by Steve Ellison and Zach Fox. Up-and-coming rapper B lives in an apartment with interdimensional creatures Kazo and Mazu, one of which is played by Hannibal.
Yeah, the other one
great-
who's played by I forget his name.
Yeah.
But
One's Hannibal, and that's all that matters.
yeah.
After smoking from a ball and watching what appears to be a snuff film with them, B goes to the bathroom to take a pregnancy test, but is forced to hide it when Phil, a man who raped B and got her pregnant, appears through her toilet. Having tested positive, B goes to Dr. Clinton's clinic for an abortion. There she meets Manuel, who is cured of his fear of breast by Mr. Quiggle, a large bug living in Clinton's anus.
So
This is the Mr. like Quiggle and Clinton part is the single best part of
it's for me it's the only part that really uses what I wanted it to do, because I guess it's comedy. Everything else just doesn't really nail for me personally, except for the part where Tim Heidecker talks about how he raped B, and it's just
really uncomfortable
it's
and
just
awkward.
super uncomfortable, as he's very descriptive of what he's doing, and it just keeps on getting worse and worse, and you just want him to go away, but he just keeps on getting really descriptive of how
All the while there's a shit just saying on the top of his head.
yeah, it's just. But Zach Fox, he was meant to play this role, because I wasn't unsure, because usually he's just like an extrovert type person. What I've seen from him, he's always just very loud and just annoying, and he makes Thundercat and Kenny Beats just want to die. But this time he didn't, and he had to be the person who was tortured, and he had to sit underneath George Clinton's asshole and get shit on. But he's perfect in this role of just being kind of a introverted person who has this problem because he's afraid of breasts.
Afraid of breasts. And the nurse there has giant breasts, mostly uncovered.
Just like fake breasts.
Yeah.
Disgustingly fake breasts.
Yeah. So large bug living Clinton's anus. B is offered a coat hanger for her abortion, leaves in disgust. She visits Phil to tell him she is pregnant, but Phil refuses to let her get an abortion. Kazu and Mazu subdue Phil and trap him within one of B's music videos. They then remove the fetus from B's body, and B suggests that they smoke the fetus.
So, what was the grossest thing in this?
This segment, other than Tim Heidecker's monologue,
that's not gross. It's just disturbing.
it's just it gets disturbing. You have I don't know what would be the grossest part of this segment. This segment's not even
the snuff films, probably.
yeah, where there's like people getting like stabbed in the dick.
Yeah.
And like blood everywhere. Yeah, that's probably the grossest part. This segment's actually the least gross segment. It's probably the one that's the most comedic and has the most like actual story to it.
Yeah, and I think it's the one that has the most purpose, and I think it's the only one that resonates maybe because it has that.
Yeah.
It works, and I feel like the performances on here has the most noteworthy cast. George Clinton is great.
Yeah, that whole segment with George Clinton and
His, like,
Zach Fox is perfect.
His bumbling personality just really resonates with me, and there's just the weird oddity that he is. I think is
just
perfect.
the shot they keep going back to of like over his ass, just hanging over Zach Fox. It's just constantly like just his ass is just right there.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's a great segment.
Yeah. I think Zach Fox wrote that just so he could be under George Clinton.
Yeah, and then that's probably, and then Hannibal's great in his face of just playing this like kind of nonchalant stoner like interdimensional being who doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Killing everyone who's
Literally-
attached to B.
Yeah, and just literally like handling the abortion by just like zapping her, like pulling it out of her stomach and then chucking it at her head. Then we have the next segment, which is Smear, which is just written by Steve and Ellison. Steve, can I just call it Flying Lotus?
Flying Lotus, yeah.
It's written by Flying Lotus. That's who everybody knows him most regularly as. Charlie is a small man who goes to an exclusive school in the forest and is fed terrible food by his mother, which causes him to constantly need to defecate. Laughed out of his classroom for doing so in his pants, Charlie runs into the forest where he finds a strange creature with only an anus-like orifice and with a worm-like tongue. He feeds the creature some of his feces, which causes it to apparently evolve, growing a face in place of its tongue. On their second meeting, the creature transfers a beam of green light to Charlie's head, empowering him to stop going to school and overcome his mother at last. Charlie later feeds the creature dog feces, which causes it and its apparent offspring to vanish, leaving Charlie and the dog standing in the forest.
This is the most artsy one.
Yeah, it's super...
This reminds me of a Right State film where
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it has purpose, and then it doesn't have any purpose. It seems like a parody of that in a sense, a lot of these fancy art films, which is probably a good thing, but it also, I don't think it's fun to watch. I don't think it's super disgusting besides the fact he's
There's
like,
just shit
you hear
everywhere.
shitting noises and he's giving shit to the ass creature, but there isn't really anything
Gross.
gross or anything interesting really going on with the
Yeah.
narrative or anything that's fun to watch or making me think about life or concepts or themes that it's providing me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here, hand me that to read.
I'll
So-
read it. The final one is written by Flying Lotus and David Firth, and it's called Sock. Angel, a woman crawling on the ground and eating concrete, tells herself she needs to sacrifice her baby. The voice of God speaks to her and tells her that her baby is missing and she'll find it down a hole, and she claims leads to hell. Angel crawls into the hole but slips and falls all the way down. She witnesses another man being consumed by a giant creature in the hole and is yelled at by Jenny, an inhabitant of the world, as that doesn't mention, but their legs are
like,
combined.
attached to each other.
And later she has to break off. Angel is swallowed by another creature in the hole. She travels down a long surreal tunnel before coming out of the ground inside a creature similar to the one from Smear, witnessing a large object fly over Los Angeles.
Another segment that's just kind of...
I feel like it would have been cooler if it built up some of the world we were dealing with, because we get some more kind of like inner city, like actual life, because there's this whole entire like forest world going on, and then we get like actual developed culture still existing.
Yeah,
I
like-
just kind of wanted to know what that world was, but like this one is just like there's nothing really working for it.
It's a very, like, internalized, like, world in this one. Very, like, one character's, like, headspace type of deal.
Yeah, there's nothing really interesting for it that's really working with me.
I think it seems more like a transitional piece than, like, a fully fledged out story.
Yeah. And then finally, after the credits, Bus Driver performs another spoken word piece about surviving the earthquake. And it's amazing. All the Bus Driver performances are great. And all the music of this is great. We get some cuts from Flamagara that's being played. I know there's one, I think it's Takeshi, that's definitely used.
so,
We get some of the Silent Hill 2 music, which is amazing. I don't know why it's in
some
here.
of the, like, craziest, trippiest fucking animation, like the purposely, like, bad, like, 3D CGI that you sometimes find on YouTube.
Yeah, that is used in the segment Mr. Wiggle,
Yeah,
Mr. Quiggle.
Mr. Quiggle. You get, like, some really terrifying, like, cutouts right after the first intro bit where I don't know who it is, but, like, somebody's just, like, speaking onto, like, a, like, AM radio thing.
Yeah.
And, like, their eyes just look horrible, and the way they're talking is, like, down-tuned and gross
menacing.
and menacing. And I think, I don't know, do you want to talk about the film now, or do you want to do the reviews first and then talk about the film?
We'll talk about the film now.
Okay. So, Vincent kind of hates this film.
I don't like it. Hate's a strong word. I don't hate it. I just don't like it.
You kept using hate while we were watching.
Yeah, but it got better. That was before Mr. Quiggle.
That's fair.
Mr. Quiggle made it worthwhile. And there's the Bus Driver segments. I think those are great. And there's the little segments in between, the very small ones where
Yeah.
it's the news station. The guy's like, I love this earthquake. All
This
my
is the
enemies
greatest
died.
I love this earthquake. It's the best that ever happened. All of my enemies are dead.
Like, there's some good moments in here. I just feel like a majority of it is just not really interesting, or doesn't really have anything interesting working for it, and the narrative isn't captivating. And I know it's not supposed to be like very thought-provoking or interesting, but I don't think this thing is as gross as it can be, weirdly enough. I can't say, but something that's been hyped up as to be super gross. And I also don't think it's just like experimental enough, or it's willing to take enough risk.
Yeah, for me, watching this, the reason I think it's like good is like I don't think I was ever not entertained by it. Like there, even like when it was like off and like not working, there's still something there that like kept me hooked. I was hooked throughout like this entire film from start to finish. I never like was like, oh, I'm bored, or I want to look away, or like I just don't care anymore. The whole time I was like, okay, what's next? What's coming next? And you said like it doesn't have a lot of meaning. I actually found parts of the film like were like reminiscent enough of like real world things where I was like, okay, this is trying to say something about our current society and comparing it to this society. I just don't know what yet. And so I actually did find myself thinking quite a bit about this film. Like, what is it trying to say? Does it have anything to say at all? Was it just kind of a blanket statement of like our society's kind of fucked right now? And those type of things. So to me, like the film works for what it's trying to do. It's trying to just be gross, which it is. It's not as gross as it could have been. It's trying to be a little all over the place, which it is. Maybe not as much as it could be, which is why I would say it's only like a B tier film, but it's has a clear purpose in mind, and it does that, and it's funny when it needs to be. It's weird when it needs to be. It's uncomfortable when it wants to be. And everything it's setting out to do, it accomplishes, maybe not to the fullest extent that it could, but it does it, and I was entertained the whole time watching it. When this film was announced, I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, fuck, yes, I need to see this. And then I saw, like, it's a Shudder exclusive, and I was like, fuck, I don't want to get Shudder just to watch it. So, like, maybe in, like, a couple of years, they'll do a Blu-ray, and then they never did, and I was like, fuck, damn it. So then I finally broke down and used your Prime account to get a Shudder trial so we could watch it together and then review it. So loopholes, I'm the king of them. But I was thinking to myself, like, I buy a lot of Blu-rays at random, just off of like trailers and things, and sometimes, you know, it ends badly, and I end up with a movie I don't really want to own. And if I had bought this film on Blu-ray, I wouldn't have had that. I would have been like, yeah, I'm actually happy to have this as part of my collection. I'd be proud to have this as my collection. I'm actually upset that it's not on Blu-ray because I can't add it to my collection. Because I do like this film. At first time I watched it, I was like kind of confused. I was like, do I like this? Do I not like this? But like, I did not enjoy myself at any point watching the film. I was grossed out at certain points, but like not like, oh no, fuck this movie. It was like, oh, that's gross. So yeah, I like the film. I think it does what it wants to do pretty well.
Okay, so this thing has a 74 on Google reviews,
Which is not bad. That's pretty good.
which is worse than Silent Hill.
That part's not, because people apparently like Silent Hill. The film itself, its rating, that's pretty good. Silent Hill's rating is too fucking high. Again, I'm pretty sure people are just doing it because they think it's the game. It's the only thing that makes sense to me.
But people don't think it's a game if it's on IMDb, which is the Internet Movie Database.
Yeah.
All the movies are stored there. They're stuck in the database. We must free them at once.
It's freedom.
But
An
people
earthquake can do it.
But users can become critics and leave their own user reviews of what they think about movies. We're going to go over a couple of those. It has a 5 out of 10 overall, which is less than Silent Hill.
It's less than Silent, but honestly, with a film like this, of what it is, that makes sense. I feel like a perfect middle of the road score is what it would average out to be. That I think that just kind of makes sense.
Yeah. That's our also new rating system from now on. It's just if it's higher or lower than Silent Hill.
I remember we were doing that for B movie, and then we stopped because then Silent Hill happened.
Silent Hill, the highest rated film of all time, accordingly. So we're gonna go over some of these reviews. The first one with a Chromagalic with Zits, 5 out of 10. Jonathan, take it away.
Not for everyone. Yeah. And that's that. That's the review.
That's
not for everyone, but if you like pure experimental trash, you have here something to enjoy.
I wouldn't call it experimental.
It's pretty experimental.
Some of the animations are,
The animation
I
is
wouldn't call the whole
experimental.
entire
Its story
thing.
structure is experimental. Look, if our fucking experimental class included happiness as an experimental film, this is definitely experimental.
Experimental can be anything if you defend it enough, but
Yeah.
I'm not willing to defend this enough.
I would defend it as experimental. The same way I would defend Holy Mountain as experimental.
I would defend Zach Fox as being experimental, and I would defend him as being a better filmmaker than David Lynch.
I wouldn't defend that last part.
Because I Got Depression is a film, I'm pretty sure.
I got depression. Anywho, don't expect any coherence. It's just a stream of weirdness happening after a mysterious earthquake. If I gave to almost all humans some pimples all over the face. You have 3D cartoons, something between Terry Gilliam and Cool 3D World. That's actually a pretty good description of the cartoons.
What's Cool 3D World?
It's kind of what the CG parts look like.
No, like what is it?
Oh, I think it's a YouTube channel. I think is where most of their stuff is.
Oh, okay. I just don't know what a Cool 3D World is. What's third dimension, Jonathan? What's in the third dimension?
I don't have time to give you an entire crash course on physics. So, multi-dimensional roommates, strange foreplay, and you will know what's hiding in George Clinton's colon.
I hope that was real. I hope that was a real
Just
butt.
imagine if that was like actually real. Like that was the only thing that wasn't faked was the creature living in his ass.
No, I just like not the creature living in his ass, but the actual shot.
Oh, the shot
ass.
of his like his asshole before the thing comes out.
That'd be hilarious. Like George Clinton's like, why are you getting like a prop? I could just do it for you for
I
real.
got a butt. What, you think I don't have an asshole? I got an asshole. It's right here. Sir, we're not even shooting the scene yet. Please put your picture. It's right here. Look at my asshole. Don't take it too seriously. You'll have lots of fun. 9 out of 11 found this helpful. I think that's a pretty fair statement about it. It's weird. It's kind of trashy. It's something that you kind of have to know what you're going into beforehand. Like that's the thing about this film is I don't know who the hell I would actually ever recommend this film directly to. Literally the only person I might have would have been you. Because like I can't think of anybody else.
Do you want me to forget this film?
What? No.
Well, I'll forget it real fast, and you can do the impersonation of you trying to recommend this film for me. We can do that bit.
No, we're good.
What's this film? What are we doing?
You should watch it. It's weird. You like weird.
Oh, that was a good bit, wasn't it?
That's literally all I would do with you. Like all my friends who like weird films, I don't think would appreciate this film because the only one I'm thinking of other than you is like Gwen, and
because
she
it's
didn't
horror.
even like Holy Mountain.
Yeah,
and then
because it's holy.
Yeah, so you're pretty much the only one I would have possibly recommended. This
Why are
to.
there so many holes in the mountain?
Cannon fire. Harold Boss reviewed it with rinse your eyes out afterwards. 7 out of 10. Holy exclamation point @ pound $ exclamation point @ pound $. I don't know what swear word is 8 letters long that you would be referring to.
It would just be
holy fuck shit, maybe.
It would just be like holy shit.
That would just be 3 of them. There's 8. Each one is supposed to represent like a letter. That's how those usually work.
Really? I didn't know that.
So is this supposed to be holy fuck shit?
I guess.
Holy shit fuck?
Holy shit fuck.
Holy shit fuck sounds better. We'll go with holy shit fuck. That was probably the most disgusting movie I've ever seen, and I consider myself well versed in revolting movies. Have you seen Pink Flamingos?
No.
That was some real dog shit.
I don't want to.
That divine.
This was good enough for my gross out. I finally was like, okay, Kiri Yamanoka and Flying Lotus are attached to this. Maybe it'll be good. And I just didn't enjoy it. But Flying Lotus, or not Flying Lotus, Pink Flamingos.
We'll have to get to it. We will eventually.
I don't think I will.
We'll let some time pass. Scene after scene of people smearing poo and cum on themselves. It really is almost scat porn at times. Well, if it was, that'd be real shit.
Is that where like the scat man comes and you masturbate? He's like
scat.
He's just like
that song has a really bad context nowadays. Like I'm the scat man because now he's just shit.
Oh, shit, man.
Apparently, this was directed by. Why is directed in quotes? Do you think he didn't fucking direct the movie? Like
you put directed in quotes, yeah.
Like what the fuck does that even mean?
Maybe it's because it's not Flying Lotus, it's Steve.
I'm hoping that's why you put. Then why not put Flying Lotus in quotes? I don't fucking
This
know.
is a real. It wasn't. He didn't direct anything. This is real, Jonathan.
Oh my god.
This is a real film. It's a biography.
Apparently this is directed by Flying Lotus, but it feels like an anthology movie by multiple directors working separately. They wrote it.
They wrote it differently.
Kind of.
Different scripts.
But Flying Lotus literally had a hand in writing everything, and he directed the whole thing. And tons of directors have done films that are like multiple plots going at the same time. Like the movie Happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Like Forbidden Room, something we've talked about already. I'm not going to go on because I could do it for a while. But anywho, seems like the only instructions were there was an earthquake and now everyone has its be incredibly vulnerable. No! You don't understand how directing or writing or literally anything works. Then they cut the resulting short films up and mixed it together a little. That's called editing. The second half of the movie is much stronger than the first. There's more... I will stand by that. The second half is where more of the narrative comes into play. There's more narrative and there's more humor. And if you are thinking of switching off after 15 minutes due to lack of plot, you should probably persevere. Be ready to rinse your eyes out afterwards. Okay, don't, because like putting water direct into your eye for no reason is just fucking painful.
Do it. Put water in your eyes. Put water in your eyes directly. Like do a what is it? Hyper wash. Put that in directly in your power wash.
Yeah,
power wash your eyes. Out. That's how you clean out the soap. That's how you clean out the soap. Power wash it.
Lamborghini Mercy reviewed it with the title "Gross with No Real Purpose." This was definitely not a movie for me. I found it so disgusting that it made me feel queasy just watching some of the scenes. I felt like there was no real purpose for this movie, and if there was, it completely went over my head. I watched it all the way through, and it felt like the longest movie ever. I could not wait for it to be over. I even gave it the benefit of the doubt and tried to find the humor in it, but it just never happened. Get a better sense of humor. I probably chuckled at a couple scenes because of how dumb it was, but other than that, I didn't find any real humor to it. I would never watch this movie again, and I would never recommend it to anyone, but if you like over-the-top, disgusting horror and ridiculous humor, this might just be the movie. This film shouldn't be classified as a horror film. It really shouldn't. Like, there's really no horror elements to it.
There's nothing spooky in it.
Yeah, if you think just being gross makes it a horror film, then you're dumb.
Tim Heidecker's spooky.
Yeah. Is Tim and Eric Awesome Show great job a horror film?
Yes.
It's horror because sometimes it's just really bad. But altogether, I kind of enjoy that show.
But that was a 1 out of 10. I didn't put that in the show notes, but 1 out of 10. And now we go to the 10 out of 10.
The 10 out of 10. A treat for fans of experimental film.
By Jordan.
By Jordan. Hi, Jordan.
Hi, Jordan.
Is this Jordan Peele?
No.
Damn.
He had a different name. I cut it out for legal purposes.
Oh.
Because I do that. If they have like a username, that's okay.
But if they have their actual name?
Yeah, I cut out the last part.
Why? It's already on the internet. On IMDb.
I just don't want Jordan, whatever his name, to sue us.
I don't think you would have any claim for that.
I rather them not get full credit, just half credit.
Oh, okay. Fuck you, Jordan. You don't get full credit. If you're familiar with Flying Lotus's music, then it shouldn't be surprising that his debut film shares many similar qualities to his music. It's experimental, unique, strange, beautiful, unpredictable, challenging, abstract, and technically great. He made a film that is unlike anything I've ever seen. It is a surreal ride through multiple storylines that are barely comprehensible. It's also surprisingly hilarious and disturbing, sometimes both at the same time. Fans of experimental films should definitely check this out. It's definitely an acquired taste. Most people will probably hate it, but you should still give it a shot. If you're on the fence, watch something different. 13 out of 23 found this helpful.
I think that's your review, I guess. Yeah. But it's except for the 10 out of 10 part. It's essentially your review.
Yeah.
My review wasn't represented. There wasn't like a medium position on this. I think maybe it was like the first one, but the first one was way too positive for my taste. Sure. Is it good?
I think so.
I don't think so.
I do.
I think it's like D.
Again, I wish it was on Blu-ray.
It's Blu-ray. Like, in a sense, D is good because it's not... Like, a D can be good.
I think it's a B. A low B.
We don't have to come to a decision.
I know.
Because, like,
yeah, I don't think we have to agree, but like I think it's low B. I think it does everything it's saying not to do. It achieves its purpose, and it does it with technical mastery. It is funny when it wants to be. Like it has some flaws. Some things just kind of seem placed at random. Some of the like animation segments are supposed to be in between just kind of feel out of place at the time that they're put in. Some of the stories don't feel fully developed, but like I don't think that was the focus of the film. I think in terms of what the film wanted to be, it did it well.
Yeah. Okay, you ready for the final terrible segment? This is always a segment that's bad, and we really don't know what we're doing a lot of times. It's pretty improvised, and sometimes we just do impersonations for no reason. But you ready for this?
Sure.
Top 10 gross stories they could have made instead.
Does it have to be based on real life? Can it just be anything?
Whatever. Like, whatever that's gross, they could have put in this off the top of our heads, top 10.
Okay.
Ready? I got a good one. Number
10.
George Clinton's asshole, but it's a gaping. It's like the asshole he had in the film, but it's gaping and it's trying to consume the entire planet.
I feel like Cyanide and Happiness made a short about that.
I just thought of it right now. They could have, but it's
Maybe.
with George Clinton. So
Okay. Number
9.
Donald Trump's presidency. That's pretty gross.
Oh god damn it. Number
8.
Tim Heidecker, but he goes. He doesn't wait until she gets off the toilet, and he just. That's it. And now she has to figure out like what to do with her life now. Because he's just jammed. She can't get him out. She's stuck with him. They're one.
Fair enough.
Number
7. Human Centipede, but actually good.
Is that gross?
It's pretty gross. You're shitting into somebody's mouth.
No, not like Human Centipede, but if it was good, would it be gross?
I mean, it would still be shitting into somebody's mouth.
Okay, I guess so. That makes sense.
They could just do that same concept, but just make it not fucking in a shitty movie. Yeah, see what I did there? Shitty. I'm a fucking genius.
Number
6.
Jonathan's puns.
Ouch.
You gotta go. Oh, is it me?
Number
5? I don't know. What
Vincent's
number.
Baines in that really shitty picture from middle school I saw today.
Yeah, there's an old photo of me in middle school, and I had intrepid
Just
bangs.
the worst Baines.
But adding on top of that, my bangs are controlling the world. So they're like reaching out and grabbing people, and they're stuffing them in my head here. It's kind of like George Clinton's asshole, but like with the top instead of the ass.
Fair enough. What are we on? Number 4?
I think we're at 3. I don't know.
No,
I don't care.
I'm odd, and I just did 5. So number 4.
Number
4.
4. I think my number 4 was the one where my bangs are going out. Your number 5 was just bangs.
Okay, so then number
3.
just Big Mouth, that whole show.
So these are just like a lot of these are just disses now. We're like, I think we should just skip 2 because we're out of ideas.
Yep.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Number 2 is just redacted because we're out of ideas.
Redacted. Too gross for human ears to even fathom. And number 1.
And number 1, just like the life of the roach as it lives in
breathes.
George Clinton's
And then
asshole.
loses its head. and
Or
survives the nuclear
even
apocalypse.
better, just like the live footage of George Clinton, just like show my asshole on screen.
Just the making of this movie and that specific scene of George Clooney just constantly like showing his asshole to everybody. That's number 1.
And we're gonna leave it at that. If you want to, oh wait, is it a film?
Yeah. Maybe.
Maybe. Kept me on the edge. Is it? I don't know. All right, does it do things? Do we find out?
It's technically a film. They shot something and there's credits and it projects.
Was it directed by Flying Lotus?
It was directed by Flying.
It's a documentary.
Yeah,
all of this happened in real life.
just imagine if that was the case.
I would leave.
If this film was made the way that like Pink Flamingos was made, it would definitely take number 1 as like grossest film ever made.
If it was real, yeah.
Which is why like Pink Flamingos is like so gross, is because the scene where Divine eats dog shit was actually real.
I don't want to think about that. We're going to wrap it up for this week's episode of Is It a Film. If you want to follow us on social media, you can do so by going to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and searching Is It a Film. If you want to subscribe to the show, you can find us on YouTube at Is It a Film. And if you want to listen to the show in audio form, you can do so by looking the Anthony and Todd show up in Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, and Spotify. And if you want to have us do a film of your choosing, you can do so by having us go to donating $20 to our Patreon, patreon.com/isitafilm. And
if you want us to have a jet ski, just send a jet ski to Vincent.
just send enough money in our Patreon for jet ski. I don't know how much jet ski is. I'm assuming they're about like $5.
Yeah, jet skis only cost like $5.
$5.
They're cheap.
If you want me to have a jet ski, just send it our way.
If you want me to have a jet ski, I don't like the beach. I will never use it.
How do you feel on the Beach Boys? Are they bad because they are on the beach?
Yeah.
Oh, God
I
damn
like their music, but they're the Beach Boys, and I just can't get past that.
Until next time, guys, I'm Vincent.
I'm Jonathan.
And see you, boys.